to Behind the Songs with Intense Reality. We are talking about all the songs on our new album, Road Trip, one by one in a series of different YouTube videos. And today we're talking about Saving Grace, which is the 4th track on the album. Saving Grace was another kind of just return to roots, kind of rock and roll kind of thing that I started and kind of came up with, and I felt could be a pretty good fit for kind of what Intense Reality was writing at the time. I remember writing this one mostly on bass. So there's a demo that I had started on my computer that was like mostly bass and drums, and that's why that maintained into like the final song that like it starts with bass, because I definitely wanted that to still be kind of a part of it, because that's how I came up with it. It was at a period where we didn't have a bass player, like we didn't have Colton yet in the band as like our dedicated bass player, so I was doing just some legwork and like filling in on that role, even though that's not really my role within the band, but I was kind of filling that in so that the three of us could do some stuff live. And I think just when you have an extra instrument in your hands for too long, eventually you start to get kind of like Doomsday Blues, Saving Grace, like some kind of like bassier stuff that like I wouldn't normally write for Intense Reality.
But they're so tasty.
It's pretty tasty. It is pretty tasty. Like I like the music of this song quite a bit, but yeah, I don't know. It felt like, there's not a ton of like kind of like slower rock songs that I had written, so I was trying to like kind of lean into that like a little bit. And
you've always shied away from slow songs.
Yeah,
it feels too slow.
I do like. I will say I do like the simplicity of it, even though it's definitely doing a lot more bass work than most of them. But yeah, no, I definitely like how simplistic this is and whatnot, and how, I don't know, it's just, there's something about it that just kind of grabs you by the talons, and it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something about it.
It kind of commands your attention in like certain ways, like even
it uses percussive things like down, 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 down. Everything's happening at the same time, and then you've got more like use of almost dead space or like rests to bring more of an impact to things, and it's just got some dynamics to it.
Yeah, no, totally, yeah, and I'm proud of it for that. It feels really fun to play, and it's kind of a snarky, sarcastic kind of song, and so I always get a little bit of an attitude going on whenever we play it live, because I just kind of get into the mindset that I was in and how I felt when I was writing the lyrics. Essentially, this is kind of just about taking back like, what we want to do with the band, and not listening to anybody's direction other than our own, and just, I think a lot of times you'll meet people that think that they know what's better for you than you do, and that idea kind of always bothered me, because I've always felt like we were more than capable of creating our own path forward.
These are the things that really set Michael off.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just I feel a strong sense of connection and identity to this band, and I wouldn't want anyone calling the shots other than us. And so it was just kind of an expression of that, of like, we don't need anyone's like, I don't want to fit anyone's mold. I want to make myself and you guys happy first at the end of the day. And at the core of it all needs to be stuff that like we decided ourselves and that we're stoked on more than anything. I just think that's so important. This is kind of like pushing back against any kind of outside influence that thinks that it would know better for us than we do. And that's kind of what the lyrics are about. And so there's sometimes I'll write something and it's a little snarky or it's a little sarcastic, but then that attitude comes through when we play it live. And it's another just one that I just get kind of really into the feeling of performing. But I struggled with the lyrics a little bit, just kind of getting the rest of them done. So I remember going to Taylor, and Taylor helped me finish writing the rest of them.
I helped you with these ones too?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Okay.
I think you brought forward the idea of like a secondhand understanding.
Oh yeah.
And then no way to know what's true. I'm left to believe in you. I think those were your lines.
Damn, I'm good.
You're so good, Taylor.
I had a fun time doing the solo. I just like the last chorus ends and you guys are like, still going. We're still going. I'm like, all right.
I do like how it breaks away from the halftime feel towards the end, and then it gets like upbeat at the end. It feels like a better way to end it than just being like, wow. Like, okay, great. That's just the switch of the feel, or like go into like more of an upbeat ending, I think is like so good for that song. And it was fun to jam it out. Another one that was just like, I think it really benefited from us working out like how the drums were gonna be like together in the practice space, and just making that like feel awesome live before we even got into the studio.
And the ending is like, the whole rest of the song is like, oh yeah, you're gonna be my saving grace and everything, and then the ending is like, oh, I'm gonna do my own thing.
That kind of feels like that, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I see that. I see
Cool.
that.
Music tells the story.
Yeah. Yeah, so no, it was cool. I think it went smoothly in the studio. I'm happy we've been able to play it live a little bit. I think at one of the Right Ranch shows, we kind of ended up doing it. We didn't really plan to, but they're like, we want an encore. And we're like, okay, here's this one.
Here's one that we hadn't
played live before.
Not once, and then all of a sudden it's
We
like,
played
I
this
guess we're
right
playing
a few
this now.
times.
Yeah, so we kind of got bullied on stage into playing an extra song, and so that one kind of had an accidental live debut. And then since like it's been in the set list a lot, and I obviously want to keep playing this one because it's so fun. So come to a show of ours, and you might see it for yourself. Hopefully y'all dig it too. And if you like the kind of video content that we're putting on our YouTube channel, please subscribe, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram and all the other socials. Stay tuned if we're going to play a gig near you, and believe it or not, we're already working on some new stuff as well. So yeah, stay tuned. Exciting times for us, and until next week, we will see you then. Bye!
Bye.